Hi, I am Sivaya, lecturer in physics, working in the Vignan institutions. In the previous session, I explained few concepts related to the radioactive decay law, half-life time and mean lifetime related to the radioactivity. Now, in this session, I am going to explain few problems related to the radioactive decay law, half-life time and mean lifetime to complement the objective exams. Okay? Now, before going to solve the problems, just recall the formulas what we studied in the previous session. The first one is, according to the law of radioactivity, the rate of decay or the number of the nuclei disintegrates in 1 second is given by lambda n. Here, lambda is the decay constant, n is the number of the radioactive nuclei present in the substance. After that, the number of the radioactive nuclei present after time t seconds in the sample is given by n is equal to n naught e power minus lambda t. This is the number of the radioactive nuclei present after time t seconds, or the number of the radioactive nuclei left without decaying after t seconds. The next one is the rate of decay. The rate of decay is given by R is equal to minus dn by dt, that is equal to lambda n. And the rate of decay after t seconds is given by R is equal to R naught e power minus lambda t. Already we know that the rate of decay is also called as the activity of the sample. That's why the activity of the sample after t seconds is given by A is equal to A naught e power minus lambda t. So using these three formulas, we can determine the number of the radioactive nuclei present, or the rate of decay of the sample, or the activity of the sample after t seconds from the beginning. See, these three are exponentially decreasing with time. Now, the half-life time of the sample t is equal to log 2 to the base e divided by lambda, which is also represented as ln 2 divided by lambda. By substituting the log 2 to the base e value, this value is simplified as t is equal to 0.6931 divided by lambda. By knowing the half-life time, we can determine the decay constant, or by knowing the decay constant, we can determine the half-life time. Next, the average lifetime is equal to 1 by lambda. The half-life time and the mean lifetime or the average lifetime are related by the formula T half-life is equal to 0.6931 times T mean time, or T mean time is equal to 1.443 times the half-life time. In addition to that, we studied three more formulas. After n half-lives, that means when the time t is equal to n half-lives, the number of the radioactive nuclei present is given by n is equal to n naught by 2 power n. Similarly, the activity of the sample is given by A is equal to A naught divided by 2 power n. Similarly, the mass of the radioactive substance is given by m is equal to m naught by 2 power n. Here, in all these equations, n stands for the number of half-lives, which is given by the formula n is equal to the total time divided by the half-lifetime of the sample. By using these formulas, we can solve the problems for the competitive exams. Okay? Now, come to the first problem. At t is equal to 0, a radioactive sample has 100 nuclei. In t is equal to 1 second, the number of nuclei left are 90. Find the number of the nuclei left undecayed at t is equal to 2 seconds. Further, the given data is at t is equal to 0, the total number of the radioactive nuclei is given as 100. When time t1 is equal to 1 second, the number of nuclei left are 90. That means the number of the radioactive nuclei present in the sample N1 is equal to 90. When the time T2 is equal to 2 seconds, how many number of the nuclei are left in the sample? This is our question. So to solve this question, I am going to use the radioactive decay law. From that we have N is equal to N naught into e power minus lambda t. By taking this N naught to this side, it becomes N by N naught is equal to e power minus lambda t. By applying logarithms on both sides, it becomes log n divided by n naught to the base e is equal to minus lambda t. Now, let us substitute the given values in this equation 2 times. In the first case, log, what is n1? 90 divided by n naught is equal to 100 to the base e is equal to minus lambda into 1. Let it be equation number 1. By applying the values in the case 2, we have log the unknown value x divided by 100 to the base e is equal to minus lambda into 2y because t is equal to 2 seconds. Let it be equation number 2. By taking equation 1 by 2, what it gives? Log 90 by 100 to the base e divided by log x by 100 to the base e is equal to minus lambda divided by minus 2 lambda. Minus minus cancelled and lambda also cancelled. This is equal to 1 by 2. Now by cross multiplying, we have log x by 100 to the base e is equal to 2 times log 90 by 100 to the base e. This can also be written as log 90 by 100 whole square to the base e. Now by comparing these two equations, by comparing these two sides, we have x by 100 is equal to 90 by 100 whole square. By solving this, we have x is equal to 81. That means after 2 seconds time, the number of the nuclei left undecayed is given by x is equal to 81. Okay, here the basic formula we used is n is equal to n naught into e power minus lambda t, right? So the answer is 3. Come to the next problem. In a radioactive sample, the number of undecayed decreases from 1600 to 100 in 12 days. Find the half-life time and the decay constant. So initially it has 1600 nuclei, whereas when the time t is equal to 12 days, the number of the radioactive nuclei left behind is 100. Now we want to determine the half-life time and the decay constant. Okay. Now, already we know that after each half lifetime, half of the number of the nuclei decayed and half of the nuclei left undecayed. That's why when the time t is equal to 1 half life, what happened? When time t is equal to 1 half life, half disintegrates and half presents. That's why the number of the radioactive nuclei present is equal to 800. After 2 half lives, so the number of the nuclei becomes 400. After 3 half lives, the number of the nuclei becomes 200. And after 4 half lives, the number of the nuclei becomes 100. That's why the total number of the nuclei 1600 becomes 100 nuclei after a time t is equal to 4 half lives. From this, the half lifetime is equal to total time divided by 4. Here, the total time is given as 12 days. So 12 by 4, that is equal to 3 days. Now, by knowing the half lifetime, we can determine the decay constant by using the formula T is equal to 0.693 divided by lambda. From this we can write lambda is equal to 0.693 divided by T half life, that is equal to 0.693 divided by 3. This is equal to 0.231 day inverse. Okay. So by using the simple procedure, we can determine the half lifetime and decay constant. So the same can also be solved in the another way by using the formula n is equal to n naught divided by 2 power n. Now substitute this n value, n naught value and find out the number of the half lives. This 2 power n is equal to n naught by n, that is equal to 1600 divided by 100, which is equal to 16, which can be written as 2 power 4. So 2 power n is equal to 2 power 4. From this, the number of the half lives n is equal to 4. By knowing the number of the half lives, the half lifetime can be determined by the formula T is equal to T by n. So using this second procedure also, we will get the same result. Okay? Okay? The answer is half lifetime is equal to 3 seconds and the decay constant lambda is equal to 0.231 day inverse. Okay? Come to the next problem. In a radioactive sample, there are 10 to the power of 12 atoms and the activity is 6 into 10 to the power of 11 becquerels. Find the decay constant and half-life time. So the number of the atoms n is equal to 10 to the power of 12 and the activity A is equal to 6 into 10 to the power of 11 becquerels. We want to find out the decay constant and half-life time. Already we know that the activity of a sample A is equal to lambda n. From this, the decay constant lambda is equal to A by n. This is equal to 6 into 10 to the power of 11 divided by 10 to the power of 12. This is equal to 6 into 10 to the power of minus 1, that is equal to 0.6 second inverse. By knowing the decay constant, we can determine the half lifetime by using the formula T is equal to 0.693 divided by lambda. This is equal to 0.693 divided by 0.6. This is equal to 6.93 divided by 6. That is equal to 1.15 something seconds. So by using the formula of activity, first we find out the decay constant, then we find out the half-life time values. Next come to the another problem. Using a nuclear counter, the count rate of emitted particles from a radioactive source is measured. At t is equal to 0, it was 1600 counts per second, and at t is equal to 8 seconds, it was 100 counts per second. The count rate observed as counts per second at t is equal to 6 seconds is dash. Here count rate means the number of the disintegrations occurring per 1 second, which is nothing but the rate of decay of the sample or the activity of the sample. So the initial activity of the sample is given as A naught is equal to 1600 counts per second. We know that after every half-life, the number of the nuclei decreases to half of the original value, so that the activity of the substance or the count rate also decreases to half of the original value. That's why after one half-life, the count rate is equal to A naught by 2, that is equal to 800. After two half-lives, the count rate becomes A naught by 4, that is equal to 400. After three half-lives, the count rate is equal to A naught by 8, that is equal to 200. And after four half-lives, the count rate is equal to A naught by 60, that is equal to 100. That means after four half-lives, the count rate decreases from 1600 to 100. That's why the total time is equal to 4 half-lives, that is given as 8 seconds. Therefore, each half-life is equal to 2 seconds. Each half-life is equal to 2 seconds. Now we want to determine the count rate observed at t is equal to 6 seconds. That means when the time t is equal to 6 seconds, the number of the half-lives is equal to 3. That's why after 3 half-lives, the count rate is equal to 200. That's why the count rate after 6 seconds is equal to 200 counts per second. Okay, here the concept behind it is the number of the nuclei or the activity or the rate of the decay becomes half of the original value after every half-life time. Okay, come to the next problem. In a given time t is equal to 0, the activity of two radioactive substances A and B are equal. After time t, the ratio of their activities Rb by Ra decreases according to e to the power of minus 3t. If the half-life time of A is log 2 to the base e, then half-life time of B is dash. First here, the half-life time of A is given as log 2 to the base e. So this is equal to log 2 to the base e. By knowing the half-life time, we can determine the decay constant of the sample A by using the formula log 2 to the base E divided by T. By substituting this T value in this equation, it becomes lambda A is equal to 1. So the decay constant of the sample lambda A is equal to 1 second inverse. Now, by using the half lifetime of sample A, we determine its decay constant lambda A, which is equal to 1 second inverse. After that, in a given time t is equal to 0, the activity of the two radioactive substances A and B are equal. At t is equal to 0, let us assume that the sample A contains N0 A number of the nuclei and the sample B contains N0 B number of the nuclei, and the decay constants are lambda A and lambda B. Okay, now it is given that the activity of the two radioactive substances A and B are equal. That's why the activity of the A is equal to the activity of the B. It implies N0 A lambda A is equal to N0 B lambda B. Let it be equation number 1. So after time t seconds, the ratio of their reactivities Rb by Ra decreases according to e to the power of minus t, 3t. Already we know that according to the radioactive decay law, the number of the nuclei decreases exponentially. That's why the activity also decreases exponentially. It is given that after time t seconds, the ratio of Rb to Ra decreases according to the equation e to the power of minus 3t. That means after t seconds, Rb by Ra is equal to e to the power of minus 3t. Already we know that the rate of decay R is equal to R0 into e power minus lambda t. So using that equation, we have Rb is equal to the rate of decay, R is equal to R0 into e to the power of minus lambda t, that is equal to N0 into lambda e power minus lambda t. So by using that equation, we have Rb by Ra is equal to e to the power of minus lambda t. This Rb is equal to N0 B lambda B into e to the power of minus lambda B t divided by N0 A lambda A into e power minus lambda A t. It is given that the initial activity is same. That means N0 A lambda A is equal to N0 B lambda B. That's why this will be cancelled, and this is equal to e to the power of minus of lambda B minus lambda A into t, which is given as e power minus 3t. By comparing these two, we have lambda B minus lambda A is equal to 3. But already in the beginning we have lambda A is equal to 1. That's why lambda B is equal to 3 plus lambda A, that is equal to 3 plus 1, that is equal to 4 second inverse. Now we have lambda A value and lambda B value, but we want to determine the half lifetimes of B and A. How to get that half lifetimes? The half lifetime of the B is given by Tb is equal to log 2 to the base E divided by lambda B. This is equal to log 2 to the base E divided by lambda B is equal to 4. Okay, the half lifetime of the B is equal to log 2 to the base E divided by 4. So option 2 is the right answer. First of all, using the half lifetime of the sample A, we calculate the decay constant of A. Then, using the given relation, we find out the decay constant of the sample B. After that, the half lifetime of the sample B is calculated. Now come to the next problem. The activity of the sample reduces to 1/8 of its initial value in 36 days. The half lifetime in days is dash. Here, let us assume that initial activity is equal to A naught. Now, in time t is equal to 36 days. In time t is equal to 36 days, the activity of the sample reduces to 1/8 of its initial value. That means the new activity A is equal to 1/8 of A naught. Now we want to determine the half lifetime T value. For that, already we know that the activity A is equal to A naught by 2 power n. From this we have 2 power n is equal to A naught by A, which is equal to A naught divided by A naught by 8. This is equal to 8. Therefore, 2 power n is equal to 2 cube. From this, the number of half-lives, the number of the half-lives is given by n is equal to 3. We know that the total time t is equal to n times the half-life time. From this, the half-lifetime t is equal to t by n, that is equal to 36 divided by 3, that is equal to 12 days. Okay? Now, the answer is 12 days. So, option 2 is the right answer. Here, I use the formula. The activity of the sample after n half-lives is A is equal to A naught by 2 power n. We come to the next problem. The half-lifetime of radioactive substance is 20 days. The time taken for 7/8 of its original mass to disintegrate is dash. Here, the half-lifetime is given as T is equal to 20 days. Let us assume that the initial mass of the radioactive substance is equal to m naught. Here, how much mass it disintegrates? 7/8 of the original mass of the substance decays. But we don't have interest in the mass decays. In the problems, in the formulas, we must know the mass of the left undecayed substance or the mass of the remaining radioactive substance, that is given by m is equal to the initial mass m naught minus the decayed mass 7/8 m naught. This is equal to m naught by 8. So m is equal to m naught by 8. Now we want to determine the total time taken. If you want to determine the total time taken, we must know the number of the half-lives present in the sample. We know that m is equal to m naught by 2 power n. From this, 2 power n is equal to m naught by m, that is equal to 8, which is equal to 2 cube. So the number of the half-lives n is equal to 3. By knowing the number of the half-lives and the half-lifetime, the total time taken can be determined by the formula T is equal to nt, that is equal to 3 into 20, that is equal to 60 days. Okay, so the answer is 3. Come to the next problem. A sample of radioactive material A that has an activity of 10 millicurie has twice the number of the nuclei as another sample of a different radioactive material B, which has an activity of 20 millicurie. The correct choices for the half-lives of A and B would then be respectively dash. So here, a sample of radioactive material A that has an activity of 10 millicurie. That means the activity of the sample A, lambda 1 is equal to, so the activity of the sample A is equal to 10 millicurie. And the activity of the another sample is 20 millicurie. So that we can write A2 is equal to 20 millicurie. It is also given that a sample of the radioactive material has twice the number of nuclei as another sample. That means the number of the nuclei of the sample A is equal to 2 times the number of the nuclei of the sample B. So N1 is equal to 2N2. Now the correct choices for the half-lives of A and B would then be respectively dash. Already we know that the activity of the sample A is equal to lambda n. So here lambda is the decay constant. Let lambda 1 and lambda 2 are the decay constants of the samples A and B. Here I use 1 for the sample A and 2 for the sample B as the suffix for the letters. Now using this equation we can write it as A1 by A2 is equal to lambda 1 N1 divided by lambda 2 N2. Here A1 A2 are given, N1 N2 are given, from that calculate lambda 1 by lambda 2 value. Therefore lambda 1 by lambda 2 is equal to A1 by A2 into N2 by N1. This is equal to, what is A1? A1 is equal to 10 and A2 is equal to 20 into N2 is equal to N2, but N1 is equal to 2N. Now it becomes lambda 1 by lambda 2 is equal to 1 by 4. Here we get the ratio of the decay constants, but we want to find out the half-life times. We know that the half-life time T is equal to 0.693 divided by lambda, which is proportional to 1 by lambda. Therefore T1 by T2 is equal to lambda 2 divided by lambda 1. This is equal to 4 by 1. Therefore T1 is equal to 4 T2. This is the relation between the two half-life times of the samples. But here that relation is not given in the answers. Now the lifetimes are given in the answers. Which option is right? That is to be identified. So in the 4 options, if suppose we take T2 is equal to 5, then T1 is equal to 20, which is the only possible answer in the given options. That's why the 4th option, T1 is equal to 20 and T2 is equal to 5 is the right choice and other choices are wrong. So the option is 4. Okay. So half-lives of two radioactive elements A and B are 20 minutes and 40 minutes respectively. Initially the samples have equal number of nuclei. After 80 minutes, the ratio of decayed number of nuclei of A and B will be dash. So here for element A, the half-life time is given, that is equal to 20 minutes. For element B, the half-life time is given as 40 minutes. And the total time is given as 80 minutes. So initially the samples have equal number of the nuclei. That means let it be the sample A and let it be the sample B. They have equal number of the nuclei, let it be N0. Now after 80 minutes, means for sample A, how many lifetimes are there? Its lifetime, its a half lifetime is equal to 20, the total time is equal to 80, that's why there are 4 half lives. So after 4 half lives, how many are present in the nucleus? This is N0 by 2 after 1 half life. This is N0 by 4 after 2 half lives. And N0 by 6 after 3 half lives. And N0 by 8 after 3 half lives, and N0 by 16 after 4 half lives. That means for sample A, the half life time is equal to 20 minutes. That's why in the total time there are 4 half lives, and after 4 half lives the number of the radioactive nuclei left undecayed is equal to N0 by 16. But we want to determine the ratio of the decayed number of the nuclei. If N0 by 16 is the undecayed, how many number of the nuclei are decayed? Let that number of undecayed N1 is equal to the total number N0 minus the number of the nuclei undecayed N0 by 16, that is equal to 15 by 16 N0. Similarly, for the sample B, the half life time is equal to 40 minutes, the total time is equal to 80 minutes, that's why there are only 2 half lives. That's why after 1 half life, the number of the radioactive nuclei present is equal to N0 by 2, and after second half life, the number of the radioactive nuclei is equal to N0 by 4. That means after 2 half lives, the remaining number of the radioactive nuclei present in the sample is given by N0 by 4. If this number is present, how many number of the nuclei are decayed? That is given by N2 is equal to N0 minus N0 by 4. This is equal to 3 by 4 N0. See here what we have done. First we calculate the remaining number of the nuclei after the given time. From that we determine the number of the nuclei decayed for the first sample and for the second sample. And we want to determine the ratio of the decayed number of the nuclei of A and B. That means the required ratio is N1 by N2 is equal to 15 by 16 N0 divided by 3 by 4 N0. N0 gets cancelled. This is equal to 15 by 16 into 4 by 3. This is equal to 5 by 4. So the ratio is equal to 5:4. So the option 4 is right. Right? Here, don't be confused. While solving the problem, after the given half lives, we get the remaining number of the radioactive nuclei present in the sample. But in this problem, the number of the nuclei decayed is asked. That's why first calculate the remaining number of the nuclei present. After that calculate the number of the nuclei decayed in the given sample. By calculating that number of the nuclei decayed in the first sample and the second sample, we can determine the ratio of the decayed nuclei in the 2 samples. Okay? Now come to the next problem. A radioactive material can decay by 2 different processes. The half-life time for the first process is T and for the second process is T. Find the effective half-life time of the material. So here the half-life time for the first process is T1 and the half-life time for the second process is T2. Find the effective half-life time of the material. Okay? Now suppose, let us assume that we have a sample which contains N0 number of the nuclei. Now the nuclei may undergo alpha, beta, gamma decay process. In that, it is given that the substance decays by 2 different processes. Now, for the first process, the half-life time is equal to T1. For the second process, the half-life time is equal to T2. Now, for the combined process, what is the half-life time of the sample? That is the question. Now, how to get that? Let us assume that lambda 1, lambda 2 are the decay constants and T1, T2 are the half-life times for the first and the second process. Okay? So, the first one and the second one are getting out from the same substance or from the same sample. That's why we can write it as the rate of decay of the first process dN1 by dt is equal to minus lambda 1 N naught. And the rate of decay of the sample for the second process is given by dN2 by dt is equal to minus lambda 2 into N naught. Okay? Now, what is the total rate of decay of the entire sample? The rate of decay of the sample is given by dN by dt is equal to the rate of decay due to the first process plus the rate of decay due to the second process. Now let us assume that lambda is the decay constant and T is the half lifetime of the sample for the combination of the two processes. Now the rate of decay of the sample is given by lambda N naught. This is equal to minus lambda 1 N naught minus lambda 2 N naught. From this we can write it as lambda is equal to lambda 1 plus lambda 2. That means whenever the radioactive nuclei undergoes decay by different process, the effective decay constant of the sample is equal to the sum of the decay constants of the two individual processes. But here we want to determine the half-life time. We know that the half-life time and the decay constant are related according to the formula T is equal to 0.693 by lambda or lambda is equal to 0.693 by T. So from this we have 0.693 divided by T is equal to 0.693 divided by T1 plus 0.693 divided by T2. From this we can write 1 by T is equal to 1 by T1 plus 1 by T2. By taking LCM and by taking the reciprocal, finally we have T is equal to T1 T2 divided by T1 plus T2. So sometimes while giving the problems, T1 T2 numericals value may be given and we want to determine the effective lifetime value or the decay constant value in such problems. Okay, so these are the final results obtained for the effective half-life time and the effective decay constant of the sample. Okay, come to the next problem. A radioactive nuclei A with a half-life time T decays into a nucleus B. At T is equal to 0, there is no nuclei B. After some time T, the ratio of the number of the B to that of A is 0.3. Then T is given by dash. So see the problem here. A radioactive nucleus A with a half-life time T. That means this is the radioactive sample. For this radioactive sample, the half-life time is given as T. So it decays into a nucleus B. At T is equal to 0, there is no nucleus of B. That means all the nucleus inside the substance are only nuclei A. After some time, the ratio of the number of B to that of A is 0.3. That means decay process is going on so that the daughter nuclei are present. Because of that, inside the substance there are some nuclei B and also there are some nuclei of element A which are the undecayed nuclei. That means some undecayed nuclei are there, some nuclei decayed and changes to the nuclei of the sample B. So after time t seconds, it is given by NB by NA is equal to 0.3. Now we want to calculate the time taken. We want to calculate the time taken. So this NB by NA is equal to 0.3. NB by NA is equal to 0.3, that is equal to 3 by 10. By adding 1 on both sides, it becomes NB plus NA divided by NA is equal to 13 by 10. What is this Na plus Nb? So Na is the number of nuclei undecayed, Nb is the number of the nuclei decayed and forming the nuclei B. The sum of these two must be equal to the total initial number of the nuclei present in the sample N0. That's why we can write it as N0 by Na is equal to 13 by 10. Now the half-life time is given. By giving the half-life time value, we want to determine the time value. For that, from the radioactive decay law, we know that N is equal to N0 e power minus lambda T. Now, for the sample A, we can write it as Na is equal to N0 into e power minus lambda A into T. So here N0 by Na is known for us, that N0 by Na is equal to e power lambda A into T. By taking logarithms on both sides, it gives log N0 by Na is equal to lambda A into T. But already we know that lambda A is equal to 0.693 divided by half-life time, or lambda A is equal to log 2 to the base E divided by half-life time. By substituting that, it becomes log 2 to the base E divided by half-life time into T. So in this question, we want to find out the time value. Therefore, the required time T is equal to capital T into log N0 by Na divided by log 2 to the base E. So this N0 by Na is known for us, that is equal to 13 by 10, that is equal to 1.3. By substituting that, it becomes T is equal to T into log 1.3 to the base E divided by log 2 to the base E. Okay? So here remember, the original nuclei is in the form of A, that is decaying. During the decaying process, some nuclei of A are present, some nuclei of B are present. So here we apply the radioactive decay law for the nuclei A after time t seconds. So in this session, I explained few problems related to the radioactive decay law, half-life time and mean lifetime. So let us go through the standard textbooks and practice many more problems which helps you to crack the objective exams like JEE and MCET exams. So we will meet in the another session. Thank you one and all.